Team, what is happening? Welcome back to the channel. So today's video was an interview with my client Dave. We've been working together for the last 18 months and Dave is an absolute beast. He's an absolute animal inside the gym and outside the gym as well. So we sat down, we chatted through his journey, and some big takeaways that you can probably makes you think a little bit about your own journey and what you should be focused on. But really, really good interview. Dave's an absolute animal, as I said, and I'm grateful to have the opportunity to work alongside him as well. So, yeah, check it out. Drop it a like, drop it a comment if you find it useful, and if you have any questions, drop me a DM as well. Welcome to the channel. So, Dave, sat down with Dave, my legend client, and unfortunate, all things must come to an end. We've been working together for a long time, and Dave's got some incredible results since we've been working together. So, Dave, nice one for jumping on.
No problem. No, thanks for having me.
So,
It's been a great 18 months.
that's it. 18 months, and again, you're not new to like the fitness scene or anything like that. Like you're an animal. You've done lots of endurance stuff in the past. You've got a big background in fitness. But we've achieved some crazy stuff. And again, obviously, I'll share on somewhere here some of the results that we've had and how we look. But outside of that, there's been some incredible changes as well. So, why did you reach out in the first place as someone who's so into fitness? What do you think you needed or you were missing at the time that you signed up?
Yeah, so like I say, I've been into fitness for many, many years. I've done Ironmans, marathons, Tough Mudders, all that sort of stuff. Um, and I think we started talking. I was like, do I need a coach? Why do I need a coach? And I think when you reached out or when we started speaking, I think it was like Christmas time. I'd finished with triathlons and I've gone into weight training, but I was in a low point. I was sort of drinking every night, not watching nutrition, and I've always been lean, always been quite muscular. But if you show the picture, it's probably the fattest I've been in terms of body fat percentage. And it got to the point where I was actually almost embarrassed to take my top off, and I've never had that before. And like I said, I've been drinking pretty much every night. And your tri-form package that you are starting the next year, because I was going to do dry January anyway, and I thought, well, the money I'm saving not drinking, I'll put towards this, and we'll see how it goes. I've got nothing to lose, and I lost what 10, 12 kilograms, and
In 7 weeks.
I got absolutely ripped in 7 weeks. And then from there, it's like, why stop? Let's just keep going. And the whole concept of investing in yourself just rang true.
That's it. Like again, the first 7 weeks, like you got incredible results. And to be fair, like you were in a really good position then. But as you said, like I think having a coach for someone who's never had a coach before is that's why I work with people like you because you've said there, this is where I'm at, this is what I've got. There's nothing to lose. And again, you give it a go and turn to go like 7 weeks. If things didn't go that way that you wanted to, you wouldn't carry on after 7 weeks. Of course you
Yeah,
would. But it's for that to try, and then I said that transforms into whatever happened next. And we went through different cycles of growing properly, gaining strength properly. Again, multiple cuts, but even now, like you look so much bigger than what you was on your first cut.
yeah.
And obviously we've done Hyrox, which was the first thing that you've done. So yeah, let's just explain some of the wins that you think. It might not even be like, physically or strength or anything like that, but what are some of the stuff that you've taken from the process?
So if you think of sort of like the physical wins, obviously I've done my Hyrox. I've did an ultra marathon, first
Yeah.
ultra marathon I've done, which was amazing. Um, the I've had a PB on squat and deadlift. I've been maintaining 2 times body weight deadlift. Um, that aside, my whole mindset has changed in terms of nutrition, stacking wins is what you've got going, like your Monday motivation, your Wednesday wins, your Friday reflections, or pulse check, and that's been a big game changer for me. Yeah, I know I'm not the most vocal on the WhatsApp group, but I've taken that and I use my works diary and I'm constantly writing that down just so I know where I'm at and I know where I need to go. So if something happens at work or something, and I do have like a couple of drinks, I've got that pulse check midweek, Friday, and I can rectify before things go out of control.
That's it. Like it's just constantly having it front of mind. I think that's the important thing. And people might think like, why do I always need a front of mind? Well, most people do need something there and someone to report to because majority of the guys that I help, they've never really had anyone to report to. Again, mostly they're in managerial roles or whatever, where yeah, you might have people to report to in work, but outside of that, it's sort of like a free for all. So like, I think it's important, and that's the reason why I've got mentors and had mentors is because I don't need someone to tell me what to do. I need to someone sometimes go, am I on the right track? What's your thoughts on this? You know, I know that they're constantly there and they're going to be supportive whenever I need them. But some people think like, well, if I'm going to invest in coaching, I'm going to make sure that I'm in the worst position possible so I can get the most out of it.
No.
And sometimes it's about going from like your goal is pain, not feeling where you wanted to get to a position where you feel comfortable and then being comfortable to then performing. I think that's the bit that people miss. People just
Yeah,
want to get out of pain, whereas you went the full scope of like, yeah, out of pain. Now I'm really happy, but there's so much more to give at the opposite end as well. So huge. And again, people always talk about, we mention community all the time, and I feel like we've got the pillars in place with the one-to-one support, with the coaching, the community support, and then you've got your own specific plans with your program, your nutrition, etc. How important do you think, like, not just me, but like the community and stuff's been on your journey?
it's been really good because there's that accountability. You're putting it out there, and everyone's got their own journey, but it's a very similar path in the same direction. And everyone's so supportive on the chat. It's just a shame I was not closer doing the weekend runs and things like that, being able to get involved in some of the momentum days, the training days that you put on. So, but now your community's fantastic, and that's probably one of the biggest things that I'll miss is the having that in the corner. It's almost like a not a safety net, a pillar to lean on.
Mm.
When times do get tough.
I say it all the time, like, you're an advocate of this, as you said there. It's so important to have it there and constantly keep things on it. So like, there's a reason why we post the Monday momentum. There's a reason why we post the Wednesday wins. Is to constantly keep reaffirming to yourself, I'm doing well or I'm not doing as well as I want. And it's either one or the other, as opposed to just neglecting it all and sort of being like, well, do you know what? No one's gonna know because I'm not actively putting it out there. And that's why, when people do get involved, I make it sort of mandatory to be like, well, we do need you to post because there's a reason why we do it. It's not for me
Mm.
to look how pumping my community is. It's for you to understand that this is part of what I know it works. And it's super, super beneficial for you as well. So I said you've used it exactly how you need to, alongside your own personal journey as well. So no, really, really good. Obviously, how far are you away from me? How long will it take to drive from where you are to Liverpool?
Uh, you're talking what, 7 hours, maybe six, seven
Seven
hours.
hours. So far away. And again, I think this is the thing where obviously I do events local to me because it's it's me, but people do travel up to them. But like the big thing I think people miss as well is that you know you're far away. We've got people all over the country, all over the world, but at the
Mhm.
same time, how important like having that community to be online? Do you think that's just as beneficial as having a room full of people?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I think a lot of people think like when you mention the word community, it needs to be in person. Like when people say you need to get around people who are similar to you, a lot of people that are around you probably aren't similar to you. A lot of people around me aren't similar to me. So you have to find them using the likes of technology to be like these online communities are just as important. I think people might miss that connection of like online versus in person. So just wanted to make sure like it's super important, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And like I say, the way technology works is it's easy to put out a message just to say how you're doing and things like that as well. So
Constantly foot on the gas. That's it. So no, I said like big question is like obviously if people are thinking about getting involved in this, truthfully, what would you say? Whether yourself, it's an investment, of course it is. the time frame I think people think about as well. What would you say to someone who's on the fence of getting involved?
On the fence, I would say, yeah, take the leap, go for it. It was probably the best. It's probably the best thing I've done in terms of for me and my personal health and my mental health. Um, it's such a worthwhile investment, even if it's for a year, 2 years. Like I say I would still be doing it if I could. Unfortunately, circumstances have changed.
Yeah. No, that's it. Like again, even 12 months, I think a lot of people think like, I just want people to get involved, and that's what I mean. If people want to come in and go, right, as we did with you, let's do it for a month. Let's see, you gather your own thoughts on what we sort of do and make your own decision off the back of that. I think a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people are skeptical of like, well, if I do this, it's gonna be 12 months. Whereas I think like people just need to start the process and then it starts to build momentum off the back of that. So I think getting
Yeah.
started is probably the hardest thing, isn't it?
Like I say, that's what I did.
Yeah.
That 7 week try form. That was the kickstart. That was the that was the kickstart. And we just kept going. 7 weeks felt absolutely amazing. Looked amazing. So, and then just sort of kept going.
No, I see. Absolutely incredible. So yeah, Dave, obviously, thanks so much for chatting through this. Again, really, really appreciate it. I'm really grateful that you chose me to help you because, as I said, you're someone who's an absolute action taker. And you just get the whole process. I think that's super, super beneficial. You go all in without going all in. And what I mean by that is you go all in with what you're doing, but that doesn't mean that doesn't equate to taking over the rest of your life because you are a dad, you have responsibilities. And just for people wondering at home as well, what is your background right now? Like I said, you are a dad. What's going on in work? Just so people have an idea of like if you're like them.
So yes, dad, son, he turns 11 tomorrow.
Happy birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, so got a few things planned from then. I've been working at a distillery for 10 years. Now in a manager role for the past sort of 5 years. Just the usual bills to pay, mortgage, all that sort of stuff. Background in sort of fitness. Like I say, I've done weight training, tough mudders, 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, ultra marathons now.
Yeah,
So I've just
whole shebang. Yeah.
dipped into Hyrox, triathlons, Ironman. So again, training wasn't the problem. It was more like the nutrition and the mindset. And the app that you've got is again fantastic. It's literally you open it up, right? What am I doing this week? What am I doing next week? Boom. Let's plan it in for what I've got for myself that week and what my family are doing, so I can move it around to make sure that I'm getting things done.
Yeah, and the reason I asked that question because when people look at your pictures, they'll think, "Oh my God, he is a freak."
Yeah, no,
Like they will think that he's all in, and we know what we mean by that, like fully
yeah,
all in. But it's not the case. You do have responsibilities outside of just
yeah.
going to the gym.
That's if it means getting up at sort of 5:30 in the morning, getting the gym before work, then
Of course.
I'll do that. I'll go for a run in my lunch break, and I'll do training in the evening. I just work it round um, the family and work, so it does get done. Um,
That's
and
it.
even the nutrition has been fine. Just using NutriCheck. So I've got a good few calories to play with, but it means it's just having like a fast in the morning, or depending on what I'm doing that weekend. If I'm out with the family, then I can stack up the calories I need for the weekend, so I'm got an average of what I need.
Again, just knowing. I think the last thing I'll say is that a lot of people are trying to make time, where you've just said there, like it never happens. Life gets in the way. Whereas you need to actively, sorry, people try to find time in their week, which is just very difficult to do when you've got so much on. But you have to actively make time for you. And I said, if it's a big enough goal for you, it might be a case of sometimes going, you know what, I've got to get up a little bit earlier to get this done, or I've got to go in the evening, or I've got to take my stuff to work to go on my lunch break. Like you've actively got to, you can't wing it, especially as you get older and you've got more responsibilities, because what happens, it just gets put to the back of the pile 9 times out of 10. So that's exactly what we preach. Like you're never gonna make the time, no matter how many times you say it. You need to start actively finding the time. So plan it into the diary, map out your week, map out your day, and as you said, the app takes a lot of the thinking out of it. So you go, okay, bum 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 bum. This is what you need to do. So no, I said, mate, glad to be of assistance. I said I'm gutted that we're coming to an end, but we
Yes.
know why. It's absolutely fine. I said to you before you've started recording, like you've graduated, I call it. Like you've you've done everything. You've done the ultra, you've done the Hyrox, you've done it. You got in shape. You've added tissue. You've got strong. Like just unfortunate circumstances have changed, but appreciate it. Anything else that you want to leave me with or the audience before we call it a day?
No, like I say, I've got the hoodie, which I'll still preach to the tribe. And if anyone's sort of on the fence that I'm speaking to, I'll send in your direction. Like,
I appreciate it.
you've done wonders for myself, and I'm still hopefully to see you at Hyrox one year.
Definitely. I think I'll try and get there March next year, Glasgow again,
I think it's
probably.
usually, yeah, I think it's March. That's what it was this year. So just waiting for the dates to be released.
Definitely see it up there. That'll be down for you, for up for me. So
Yeah,
that'll be the case. No, Dave, again, legend. Make sure you go and show this some love. Drop her a comment, drop her a like. But yeah, thank you, Dave, and yeah, let's finish off super strong.
as
Appreciate it.
always.
Bye.